Hey there, how you doing? Andy Whitehead here. Change of venue today. Big biller, big biller. So big biller is a good thing to be. Um, let's focus on who you are. So you may well be a recruitment or exec search business owner, director, partner, founder, maybe a desk leader, and you're looking to grow your business. Now you may well have been doing the same thing for a long time. May well be you're trying lots of new shiny objects. Who knows? However, here's the thing. I had a conversation today with a really cool gentleman in Phoenix, and we were discussing around joining my mastermind program. And one of the things that came up as we were going through this process was scaling from where he is now, which is 250, 300, and getting to seven figures, and how we do that. And how we do that is pretty simple. So the way you always grow your business, you can either increase the volume, or you can increase the fee, or you can increase the frequency. So, for example, if we take the legal space and we say that we're dealing with associates and the fee is 50k, and that's a 50k fee, or we split the fee and it's 25k. We want to get to 1 million. So how do we do that? So we've got 25k, so we need 40 placements, or we've got our 50k, we need 20 placements, or we've got a partner and we need 10 placements because it's a 100k fee. So when we look at growing our business, there are different ways we can do it. Now, my big thing's always been around leverage, so one to many, which means I believe that if you want to be hitting a figure of, say, you're a solopreneur, you want to hit 1 million, if you're going to do an activity, for example, speak to a client or speak to a candidate, that really should be systemized. So if you're going to call the client and you're getting objections, you haven't got a process in place. So you should have the objections overcome before you speak to a client. And we do that with something called a client attainment system. So before you speak to the client, they've actually received we call it a CAS, and it sets out that they've got these options. So they might have internal recruitment, they might have a preferred suppliers list, they might have internal recruitment, they might have other recruitment or search businesses, they might have Dave down the road. So a client attainment system overcomes all those objections. It also lays out why you are the option, and why, for example, your fee may well be double what everyone else is in the niche. So how do you do that? So a prime example is this. This gentleman works in the construction space. And imagine this comes in. So in the construction space, I said with respect to this gentleman, really cool guy, your niche is archaic. You're dealing with a niche whereby the clients and the candidates are in a space which is almost a dinosaur mindset. And what I mean by that is they are not so much into the evaluation process of candidates. They are maybe looking for speed and looking for cost. So consider this. The client says, I need a project manager in the following. And you say to the client, right, there are 82 candidates that fit that spec for that role you're looking for in the entire market. So let's say in Texas, there are 82 candidates. Inside my ATS right now, I have 80 of the 82 candidates. I have full contact details. I have a system in place that gets me a 77% response rate within 24 hours. So Mr. Client, what that means is when I send across 5 candidates to you, you're getting the best 5 from the top 95% of candidates, as opposed to the new young buck, the kid on the street, who's great on the cold calling and he's bringing in these roles, but what he's doing is exchanging time for money. So he might be good at getting the candidates and at schmoozing, but he's getting 5 candidates to that client. It might be the first 5 candidates, not the top 5 from the top 92, 93, 94, 95%. So being a big biller and being that person who's got that skill to engage and converse and convert a candidate or a client is exceptional. However, a system will beat that every time. As a big biller, you've got a glass ceiling. So your glass ceiling may well be your exchange of time for money. What I found over the years is the glass ceiling for a solopreneur business owner, it depends on the niche, is between $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a one-person business. They reach this glass ceiling and this up and down. So we need a system that allows you to break through that glass ceiling. So consider this. If I speak to the big biller and say, hey, listen, Mr. Big Biller, if I can show you how to 10x the leads, so 10x the leads coming in your business, or 10x the roles, or 10x the candidates. But let's say that you're so good at converting, someone else converts instead of you. So someone else does a client appointment or the candidate conversion, but they're not as good as you. So they convert half as well as you. So we've 10x'd what's coming in, pipeline or candidates, but we're half as good at converting. Your business still 5x's. And now you're a business owner. So if you are a big biller, it would be about, Andy, I can spot talent. And then if I was listening to you, I'd be on my iPad listening to you. So what do you do? How do you spot talent? Well, this, and this. Okay, so at this point, how do you make a decision on A or B? This, and this, and this. And then what I've got in front of me after 5-10 minutes listening to you is I've got a decision tree. And I can take that decision tree and then reverse engineer that into your candidates. And I can find them online. Now I've got those candidates. I've got the top tier candidates. So if you're a big biller, you've got a skill at sales that I've never had. I hate all that type of thing. I can't do it, which is why I've now been doing this over a decade. And it's about inbound, conversion, leverage. But the system wins. So please consider this as a business owner. So with that said, if this has been of use to you, you're going to listen to a little video after this, or if you're on iTunes, and I'm not sure what number we're at now, 210 on iTunes podcast. If you listen to this, there'll be a short video afterwards, which will lay out what next steps are. If you're savvy, if you know that you've got a glass ceiling, and if you're serious about this, but with fun. So with that said, this would have been of use to you. I know. My name's Andy Whitehead. You can find me at recruitmentmarketinginternational.com. Big biller versus my system, or one of my systems. It's not layout, I've got this big red button, but leverage recruitment is where you should be focusing now. COVID has now created an environment whereby you have to be really adopting these things. I've now been doing it for over a decade. I'm always creating new strategies, but hopefully, and I know this would have been of use to you. Speak soon. Take care. Whitehead here from the Laptop Recruiter, Recruitment Marketing International. So I've now been doing this, working with recruitment and search business owners, directors, leaders, partners, desk owners now for, well, over a decade. And my big thing has been one-to-many, leveraged recruitment and search growth. So rather than having a big biller mindset, it's more about how do we get from 200-300K to get to 7 figures. Generally, we work with business owners and their profit ratio is around about 80 to 85%, which means if you bring in 1 million, that's 800 to 850 pre-tax is to you as the business owner. So how do we do that? Well, we do that with a leveraged model, one-to-many model. And I've now been doing this with over 1,000 recruitment and search business owners. And quite frankly, it works. We've got 2 guarantees around this. So what you've just listened to, or maybe you've been onto iTunes and listened to some of our 200 plus podcasts, if it resonates, and if you're savvy, if you are aware that the old model's no longer working for you, head to recruitmentmarketinginternational.com that you can see here, click on consultation, schedule a call, and there are a set of questions there. The more information you give, the better the call's going to be, quite frankly. Now, this call isn't a sales call in any way. If you ask around, Andy, tell me about your inner circle, or tell me about your done-for-you services, we'll tell you. It's in any way a sales thing. I've been this now long enough to know that I want to work with recruitment business owners, leaders, directors who are in this for the long game, like I am. And I've got 3 drivers, 3 key flags around I want to work with you and help you, or I don't. I've got some members who've been with me 6 or 7 years, which is tantamount to proof of what we do. And you can check out, again, podcasts, webinars, etc. But head here, schedule a call. We'll jump on that call. We'll have a good time. But for me, it's really to understand where you are now. You're at point A. You want to get to point B. And the elephant in the room is you're speaking to make more money. So often I'll get told, Andy, I want to change the candidate's life. I want to make an impact. You do. However, to do that consistently, you need to be making X amount of revenue and X amount of profit. So to do that, we work in a one-to-many fashion. So typically when we get a business from, say, 200-300K to $1 million, that business will have generally 3 to 4 people in it with a profit ratio, as I said, 80 to 85%. So my model of building recruitment search businesses is based on a leveraged digital strategy, which means by the time you speak to a client, the objections have been overcome. If you're speaking to a client and they say, we've got this role, and you say, Mr. Client, do you know there are 91 qualified candidates in your niche? We have 87 of them inside our CRM. We've got 4 contact details. We can get the top 5 out of 87 to you in the next 24 hours, as opposed to your competitor who's faffing around on LinkedIn, faffing around sending sporadic emails, faffing around networking, just trying to get 3 candidates. Or conversely, if you're looking to get your pipeline filled, how would it be if you know there are 97 decision makers or maybe 9,700 decision makers and you have all of those inside your CRM? You have an authority process, which means you're number one on iTunes. You have an automated system that gives you a 70, 80% response rate. How powerful would that be? Retained business, doubling your fees. So it might be right now you're dealing with a fee structure of, for example, where you might be dealing with, say, associates of 25K. Let's ascend the ladder and get you dealing with partners at 100K a placement. So a number of ways of growing your business. My big thing has always been around automation, inbound and leverage, but also the scorecard should be financials. What are your financials? So we're about building your financial business. So with that said, if that sounds like you, schedule a call. I'll be very direct with this. If you are archaic, if you are stuck in the past, if you are stuck in the mindset of it's all about me, I'm a big biller, and you may well be really awesome at that side of things. However, the skill you've got as a big biller can be systemized and put into a process where you can scale hugely. So I expect a business doing 2, 3, 400K to be moving past 7 figures within 12 months if you execute. It's not easy, but it's simple. We have over 200 strategies. I'm always creating new strategies, always testing new strategies. But for me, it's about a mutual fit. So this call is not a sales call. It's about a mutual fit call. So with that said, head to recruitmentmarketinginternational.com, click on consultation, fill out the details. If you schedule a call, please turn up. If you don't turn up, going to be a little bit hurt, but we're going to probably not meet again. So with that said, I wish you well, whatever you do. Stay strong. And remember, being a recruitment entrepreneur can be tough, but also can be liberating if you really, really understand the principles of leveraged growth. Take care. Speak soon.